What's up, everyone? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on something the mainstream news is trying to bury under fancy jargon. We are talking about the survival of your savings. As of early 2026, the magic money printer is back in action. And if you aren't prepared, the value of your hard-earned cash is going to evaporate. I've spent the last few weeks digging through the latest data from the Fed, Reuters, and the Wall Street Journal, and the story they tell is terrifying. We're going to walk through 17 pieces of evidence that prove the dollar just got hit hard and why 2026 is going to be absolutely wild. Now, before we look at these charts, I have to give you the standard YouTube truth talk. I am not a financial advisor. I'm an entrepreneur and a researcher looking at the same data you are. The content in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Don't go betting your life savings just because a guy on YouTube showed you a chart. Do your own homework. All right, let's get into the evidence. Look at this headline from late 2025. The Federal Reserve has officially pivoted. After a short attempt at being responsible, they've realized they can't keep the lights on without printing more money. This isn't a conspiracy, it's the new reality for your savings. This is a long-term look at the US dollar's purchasing power since the Fed was created in 1913. If this were a stock, you'd have fired your broker decades ago. It's a constant downward slide that never ends. Look at that red zone. Your dollar has lost over 90% of its value. Think of it like a candy bar. In your grandpa's day, a dollar bought a giant brick of chocolate. Today, you're lucky if it buys the wrapper. Your money is basically diet money. All the look, none of the strength. 2025 was a brutal year. The dollar slumped 9%. Its worst showing in 8 years. When the dollar slumps, it means the rest of the world is losing faith in our ability to pay our bills. Financial experts are calling this a dovish tilt. That's just a fancy way of saying the Fed is getting soft on interest rates. Lower rates mean a weaker dollar, which means your bank account is getting a haircut without you even knowing it. The Fed tried quantitative tightening, or QT. Imagine the economy is a pool that's too full. QT is the Fed using a giant vacuum to suck money out to stop inflation. But on December 3rd, 2025, they threw the vacuum in the trash. They officially ended QT because the banking system started to choke. They can't stop the money flow or the whole house of cards falls. Look at the immediate result. The Fed injected $13.5 billion into the system overnight. Total injections have already topped $38 billion. This is like a guy who says he's on a diet but gets caught eating an entire chocolate cake at 2 a.m. It's not just a one-time fix. They are now buying $40 billion in securities every single month. This is essentially money printing by a different name to fix the repo market strains. Why do they need to print? Because we hit $38 trillion in national debt. We are accumulating $1 trillion in debt faster than at any point outside of a global pandemic. Economists say a healthy country should stay around a 60% debt to GDP ratio. We blew past that exit ramp a long time ago. When you owe more than you make, you eventually have to print your way out of the mess. Meanwhile, Japan just threw a wrench in the gears. They hiked rates to the highest level since 1995. For years, people borrowed free money from Japan to buy US stocks. Now, Japan wants that money back with interest. This is the musical chairs moment for global markets. This isn't just numbers. A weak dollar makes your summer vacation or that new tech gadget way more expensive. When the dollar loses power, everything you buy from overseas costs you more at the checkout counter. Even if you only invest in US stocks, you aren't safe. 41% of S&P 500 revenue comes from international markets. If the global economy wobbles because of the dollar, your stock portfolio feels the earthquake too. As the dollar sinks, smart money moves into hard assets. Gold has been rebounding from every dip because unlike the dollar, you can't print gold at a Fed meeting. Look at the chart. Gold is hitting record highs, recently smashing past 4,125 an ounce. It's broken out of a 20-year range because people are terrified of the dollar's future. 2025 saw the biggest price gains for gold and silver in over 40 years. The precious metals are thriving because the dollar is suffering under these current trade policies. The evidence is right there. The Fed is back to printing. The debt is at a record $38 trillion, and hard assets like gold and silver are the only ones winning the race right now. Don't be the person left holding a bucket of melting dollar ice cubes while the world moves on. Take this time in 2026 to get diversified and get educated. If you found this breakdown helpful, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button, Share this with a friend who's still keeping all their money in a basic savings account and comment below. Are you moving into gold, silver, or crypto this year? I want to hear your strategy.